Hey guys, my name is Cameron, welcome back to more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. In the last episode, we finally got all of the four shards, or the four missing shards of the Mirror of Twilight together, and we made it into a mirror, the Mirror of Twilight. I've explained that very poorly. And we opened the gate to the Twilight Realm. Wait, this guy isn't an enemy, Link. They might look different, but they're inhabitants of this world. They're my people. Zant, how could he? Yeah, I explained that terribly, but basically, all the shards we've been collecting, we finally put them together into the Mirror of Twilight and opened up the gate to the Twilight Realm. And in this episode, we are at the Palace of Twilight, and we're going to take it on as what I believe to be the last real dungeon of the game. And I've already talked about it, like how I don't really think of this place as a dungeon. It is a dungeon, and we sort of kind of have another dungeon after this, but not really. But I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not really going to get into the details, but this is basically the last big shabam. And, but one of the reasons why I don't really think about this place as a dungeon as much as I probably should is just because of how linear this one is compared to other dungeons in this game. And, I mean, some of them are kind of linear, but this one especially, like, it doesn't get any more linear than this. And you'll see what I mean later as we go on. Link, be careful. This black fog is made up of shadow crystals created by Zant. They blot out the light. He's responsible for stealing the light from the spirits and turning your world into twilight. But he's not all powerful. We're prepared too. I can return you to your normal state whenever you need me. So don't worry, okay? Yeah. So basically, you go into the black fog, you turn into Wolf Link. So don't do that. We will be able to take care of that later, but not for now. What you want to do is, this is a new enemy or a common enemy in this dungeon. Well, they're new and common. Both of those two things. And you'll only see them in this dungeon. They are Zant heads. So the only threat they pose is shooting you with a ball of plasma, but you can deflect that back at them to stun them and then attack them. And they're really not that difficult at all. So right there, small key. Yeah, but don't really worry about this, guys. They're easy. You don't need to worry about them. And as usual, I'm not going to really heavily commentate on what's going on with the dungeon as much as I probably should, just because I feel like that gets kind of boring. But yeah, this dungeon is very, very linear. As you see, we're going kind of like up like the left side. Then later we're going to go up the right side, and then we're going to go up the middle. So, and the left and right side are very similar to each other, so it's pretty linear. Right up here, there's going to be a Zant head inside of the fog, and here's a really cool thing, is once you enter the fog, you'll automatically turn into Wolf Link. If you go into your senses, though, you can kind of see through the fog a little bit better. It's kind of like a purple mist instead of a really black fog, so it's easier for you to see. Also, another thing, an easier way to take care of the Zant heads instead of just attacking them in Wolf Link form, which right there we had to obviously defeat him in Wolf Link form because of the fog, is to hold down B and use Minda's power to take him out in what I believe should be one strike. After doing that, we have two treasure chests to take care of, and these guys are a pain in the butt. Goodness, they're too fast to take out, like all at once like that. So I took out almost all of them, but not quite. Anyways, right over here. Cool, we got the compass. Okay. Anyways, getting back onto what I was saying, or what was I saying? Yeah, so basically, I guess that's all I really wanted to point out. But we will be able to take care of this fog later, so it's really not that big of an obstacle. It's nothing you need to worry about. I mean, the only thing it does is turn you into Wolf Link. It doesn't deal you any damage or anything, so it's nothing to worry about. And again, this is an extremely easy dungeon, so you probably shouldn't be watching this for walkthrough purposes unless you're just going for 100%, but yeah. And also another really cool thing is if you look at our health meter, we are 2 full hearts away from having both rows filled with hearts. We are actually going to finish that up in the next episode. We will have that completed. Right here, I got kind of confused as to which one I needed to claw shot onto, so I'll see you guys once I am no longer confused. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'm back. What you're gonna want to do is right over here is claw shot up here, and then you're going to want to claw shot over to the left to get onto this ledge right up here. Anyways, I'm going to talk about like this week a little bit because things are kind of crazy this week. I'm recording this on a Sunday, the Sunday before Christmas, which, by the way, Christmas is in only a week. I'll get to that later, but Yeah, so this is finals week for me, so it's kind of crazy when I think about it. It's December the 18th, and I'm going to be getting out of school on December the 21st. It's like, that's only 4 full days before Christmas, or only 4 days before Christmas, so it's a really, really late break, but that also means that it's going to kind of extend a little bit late into later than it usually does into January as well. And when we come back, we ironically have a teacher's work day, and I think like a bad weather makeup day, so the break kind of extends even longer than usual. And another thing is, after those days, I'm then going to MagFest, so I believe in total I will be 18 days away from school, which I'm in high school, so I think college students like practically have like a month off, so that's nothing to them, but for high school, 18 days off is kind of pretty significant. It's something that I haven't had since summer, so looking forward to that greatly. Also looking forward to MagFest, but yeah, Christmas is a week away. I finished practicing. Yes, I finished practicing all my Christmas gifts. I've finished wrapping most of my Christmas gifts, or I won't say that. I've wrapped all the ones that I have. Which, by the way, talk about the gameplay right here. This is not the actual Zant, if you couldn't tell. This is, I don't know what his official name is, but I'm gonna call him like Shadow Zant. Yeah, he's not fun, but he's not really that difficult either. Every now and then he'll spawn out enemies for you to attack. Right there, like shadow keys is what I'm gonna call them. And then you'll be able to just walk up to him and hit him with your sword. But what's kind of tedious and annoying and difficult about this, I'm gonna call this a mini boss. Nah, we'll call this mini boss. I'll just say an enemy because we see him again. Spoiler alert. Is that every time you face him, or most of the time when you face him, he'll disappear immediately. So you have to do that a few different times until he finally stays in the one spot, and then you can attack him. If you let him stand for too long, he'll try to shoot you with like, I'll say plasma again. Don't let him do that. Instead, once he stops moving, you should have plenty of time to get over there and to deal him some damage. I recommend a jump attack, and if your hearts are filled and you got the great spin attack, I highly recommend the great spin attack. That does a ton of damage. You can finish him pretty quickly if you have that, and that is the 8th and final hidden skill. It's very, very helpful. So, and spin attacks in general, even if you don't have the great spin attack, still do a lot of damage, so I would recommend that to take him out quickly, but there's nothing really all too complex about defeating this guy. It's basically just patience and waiting till he finally stays still. But we've faced Shadow Ganon in previous games, and it's a similar mechanic to Shadow Ganon. I'm going to call it Shadow Zant, as I said. It kind of looks like Digital Zant, really, but besides the point. And after you defeat him, he will turn into a cloud of dust. You know, from life to dust, or from something to dust, or whatever, however the phrase goes. Basically, when we die, we turn into dust. Apparently some sooner than most. But after you do that, come right over here to his hand, and then it will have a little spiel for us. I don't like that word, actually. The Shining Spear illuminates this world. It's called a soul. It's like the sun of your world, Link. The power of the soul is the source of life in this world. It is pure power. As long as you have this. Would you please take this soul to the Twilight at the entrance of the world? Please, Link. Okay. Seems pretty easy. How do we get it? All you gotta do is just slice the hand, and it will drop the soul. Seems easy enough, you know, nothing we really need to worry about until you get far enough away, and then the hand comes back to life. Now, if you're like me, if you're anything like me, this will bring a lot of anxiety upon you. Holy cow. I remember my first time playing this, like, the hand really isn't even that fast, but it just gives me so much anxiety that he's following us. Anyways, you have to use your claw shot a lot, so I recommend equipping that to one of the buttons that you're comfortable with. You will need to use that a lot. Obviously, we would not have been able to pick that up and go up the stairs because putting the soul in the little spot made the stairs for us. So you gotta get to the top of the stairs and then use a hook shot to get the soul. And that mechanic will be used quite a bit throughout the rest of the dungeon, so get comfortable with it. And if you have motion controls like me, rest in peace. Although they're not actually that bad. You know, I complain about them a lot, but they're not all that bad. I mean, for motion controls, they're not bad. They're just motion controls. And I'm not a huge. I mean, it's not that I hate motion controls. It's just like with the claw shot. Yeah. Anyways, so put the soul in the spot, and you have to be very quick. You can see the hand coming down right here. Luckily, the hand is rather slow, and once it gets to the spot, it kind of freezes there for a moment. Goodness, that was so close. Okay. Once you get up here, you won't be able to climb. Like above the steps, you have to throw the soul up, like up the little ledge. So you'll have to do that quite a bit as well. But don't worry. Again, this hand is pretty slow. The only thing that you have to worry about is being, and this is a problem that once again people like me would have, is that you start messing up because you are so stressed about the hand, even though you probably shouldn't be worrying about it. But I've obviously beaten this game before, and here playing it again, the hand still gets me. Like years later, the hand still causes me a ton of stress. So right over here, and I did miss it at first. Like once again, by the way, I am recording this with post commentary. If you are going for 100% and you'd like to get this heart piece over here, I would recommend you do so. It is anxiety inducing because we have to take a moment, and it gives the hand a moment to catch back up, but you should have plenty of time to get that. So there it is. Let's take care of these guys and throw the soul up there. What's kind of good about this ledge right here is if the hand tries to get the soul while it's going down the ledge, it'll miss because the ball keeps moving. But anyways, don't worry about these enemies right here. Just kind of dodge them. They're not worth taking out because it's possible that they're there to distract you so the hand can catch up. So, and you don't want that because then you'll get stressed out like me. So, anyways, once you are done backtracking through the little, I guess like I'm gonna call it a hallway, not a hallway, like the linear, like the narrow section of the dungeon that we just went through. Once you get back, you'll be back out to the beginning. You'll want to come right up here to the center and throw it in one of the 2 soul slots. And once you do that, a path to the second soul area will open up. Link, there should be one more soul. If you can find that, it should lead us to Zant. Indeed. So, also another thing that I did not point out earlier, but I'm going to go point out now, is that one of the Twilight went back to his original form. And he kind of makes a bit of a spooky noise, but regardless, I wish we could actually talk to these people. I really, really, really wish we can, but or that we could, but unfortunately, we can't. It would add quite a bit to it, but anyways, besides the point. I'll just call it the language barrier and be done with it. Now that we've done that, we can come over here to the second section. And this is what I meant by it's really linear. If you look at the map, on the left side, we went up and down with the soul. On the right side, we're going to go up, get the soul, and come down with the soul as we did on the left side. And then we'll be able to go to the middle and go up. So, not a very confusing dungeon at all. It's just here more or less to build up to what's at the end of the dungeon, and we'll get to that then. I'm going to take care of these keys. I'm going to call them Shadow Keys or Twilight. I'll call them Twilight Keys. Cool. Like, basically, I mean, I really don't even worry about the official names, because I just make up names on my own. And who knows, that might be the actual name. If it were the actual name, it would make sense. Besides the point, getting back on other stuff I was talking about, I bought a lot of gifts for, I've bought gifts for people who aren't family. I haven't bought gifts for people who are family. I bought, well, technically that's not completely true. I bought gifts for 2 of my really good friends, and, by the way, totally regretted that right here. I fell back into the fog, so that gets frustrating. But don't worry, if you do, you can just come back right over here, turn into human link form, and just, you know, rinse and repeat, do what we did to get back to where we were. I still need to get birthday gifts for my immediate family, definitely. I haven't done that, not birthday gifts, Christmas gifts for my immediate family. But I've gotten gifts for 2 of my really good friends, one for my nephew-in-law, and another one for someone who I consider to be my nephew. So, yeah, I've already done that. That's pretty good. The other gifts that I'm gonna be getting are gonna be fairly simplistic, so I'm not really too worried about them. It's gonna be stuff like gift cards and other things, so it's not gonna be anything that's gonna be hard to get a hold of. But I do need to get those gifts. I'll probably get them sometime this week, And it sounds like last minute, but once again, they're pretty simplistic. They're simplistic gifts, so I don't really need to worry about whether or not they're going to be available in the following days or in the upcoming days until Christmas, because they should not be of limited supply. They shouldn't be. So I do need to do that. But besides that, I'd say I'm ready for Christmas. You know, as you get older, things get less exciting. I'm still looking forward to Christmas, though. I'm looking forward to Christmas more this year than I did last year. Last year was just a tough year. Wasn't really necessarily even a bad year, although this time last year I was going through quite a bit. Yeah, last year was just tough. It was tough stuff, dude. So, looking forward to it this year. Anyways, there you go. Those guys are taken care of, and once they're taken care of, you'll be able to face the Zant head. The Zant head. That's right over there. The Zant head, or whatever I was saying. But let me see. It's Sunday, so yeah, Christmas is exactly a week away. And I was hoping for snow this Christmas, as I always do, but the forecast has come out and said, nope, there will be no snow for where I live. And then I go on the news and I see like the northeast section of the country, or basically the northern half of the country, is basically in a blizzard. And I just wish that some of that could be shared with us, but no, not here in South Carolina. We're not fortunate enough to get snow here. And as I mentioned before, you can just use Midna's power to take these guys out. It's a pretty efficient way of doing so. I mean, I would recommend it. It's going to take, yeah, it takes two times doing that to take them out. But, you know, it's quick, especially if you have all of them in a circle like that. So, and then I'm also looking forward to New Year's as well, because every single year we always go to a family friend's house to spend New Year's with, and we're not doing that this year, so it's going to be a little bit odd. And I've actually, talking about this now, I'm having a sense of deja vu, and that probably means I've already talked about this in previous recordings, but I'll talk about it again really briefly. And I'm going to be hanging out with my friend on New Year's Eve, so a lot of really cool things in store over the break. And also another really cool thing about Christmas break is that I am going to be, I guess I can't say that I'll be starring in a student film, but I'm going to be one of the main characters in a student film that one of my friends is making, and we have a filming day on the very first day of Christmas break for me. So very much so looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. It's going to be a day full of fun. And I'm also looking forward to just recording that footage so we can finally get a trailer out for it. I mean, we've had the script and everything written for quite some time. It's just a matter of getting actors and getting dates to record and actual recording. And we're going to wait till the summertime to record, I believe, for reasons but that pertain specifically to the film we're recording, but that and just free time as well, because once summer happens, things get more relaxing for students because school is out. Anyways, right over here, you got the dungeon map. But besides that, let me think. Well, that's kind of cool. I actually landed up in the chest right there. Landed up in the chest. I don't like the way that sounds. I don't think there's anything else over Christmas or winter break. Is there? Nope. That's it. And then at night it tops off with MagFest, which I've already talked about that plenty. So I'll save you guys. I'll save myself the breath and you guys the time. Right over here we have a small key. And if I'm correct, I believe it's this room that we're going to be coming back to. Actually, no, it is not this room. It's the room that we were in prior to this one. We'll be coming back here at the very end of the dungeon to collect a few things, but that is not important. It does not pertain to what we are doing right now. So, let's progress. Other things I can talk about. This upcoming school week. Okay, I don't know how actually I missed that, because I think I actually started talking about that originally, and then I got sidetracked with other things. So, today's Sunday. Oh yeah, I remember how I got sidetracked, because I was like, today's Sunday. I was like, and Christmas is a week away, and then I started talking about Christmas. Which, by the way, right over here at the very end of this stretch, we once again will have to deal with Shadow Zant, or whatever his name is. Well, we're going to call him Shadow Zant. I love Link's expressions sometimes. Like, I just want to pause the video and just kind of stare and zoom in. Yep, exact same mechanic. Nothing new. Except this time, Shadow Deku Bobbins. So, which are really annoying, actually. But regardless, the school week. So, I've already talked about this in previous recordings, but I will talk about it again because it is more relevant now, being that it is tomorrow. Tomorrow I have my English exam. Tuesday I have my history exam, and Wednesday I have my Spanish exam. As for the other two classes that I'm taking, one is orchestra. I don't really have a written exam for that. And then I have Psychology 101. I've already done the written exam for that. So, yeah, I have 3, which I honestly really lucked out with that. I have 3 exams left and 3 days of school left, and they happen to all fall on separate days. Very fortunate for that, actually. And another thing that I'm really fortunate for is that I did not request work off for these 3 days, like the 3 nights before each exam. I didn't request those off, but I happen not to be working those days, so I have plenty of time to study for exams as well. Although I don't appreciate the fact that I'm getting less hours of work, I understand why. Business has been slowing down just a little bit, and once again, on the bright side, I have more time to worry about exams. And another thing is that, I think actually I talked about this in previous videos as well, is that it seemed for a while that, well, rather, I'll rephrase that, my work was planning on closing down for a month, for the month of January, for renovations. They've decided against that, and they have pushed back renovations to the month of February. So I actually will be working the month of January, so I'm kind of disappointed about that, actually. I would have preferred to had my first month in the new semester away from work so I could adjust, but I won't have that opportunity, so it's, it is what it is. I mean, in the end, I'm still gonna have a month off from work, so who knows, maybe it might actually work out for the best. No idea, but we'll just have to see. And same as last time, I will become dust! Yeah. And it just kind of sits there. Anyways, yeah, I'm really worried about the English exam, and my exams go in order from the ones that I'm most concerned about to the ones that I'm least concerned about. I'm not really all that worried about my Spanish exam because I have a pretty good idea of exactly what will be on it, and I guess it's fair to say that's the case for all my other exams too. It's just Spanish comes easier to me than English does, and history usually comes to me pretty easily, but we have this weird situation right now where my teacher had a kid, and we have a long-term sub who doesn't really know what she's talking about, and we're kind of ill-prepared for the exam. But besides the point, which, by the way, I nearly, once again, had the soul taken away from me. Holy cow. That's the second really close call for this episode. So yeah, really worried about the English exam tomorrow. In fact, I'm probably going to wake up an hour early. I'm gonna sacrifice an hour of sleep to ensure that I'll be prepared, because my teacher, she is pretty ruthless, but she showed us a bit of mercy in the fact that it wasn't really a study guide, it was more of a, well, I guess it kind of was a study guide. She was basically like, hey, know these things. These things exactly will be on the exam. I mean, it's not like she told us, like, the answer to this will be that, but she was like, you guys need to study this. And right here, I got really confused. But luckily I did make it through it. I recommend taking out these enemies, or actually, you don't really even have to do that. I took care of them because I knew that I would have to buy some time, and that it'd be good for me to have them out of the way. But as long as you don't even mess up in the first place, you should be fine. So that's the point. Put that in right here. Walk right over here onto this little area. Quickly roll off the Twilight stairs, and then once again use the hook shot to get the soul up here. Anyway, so probably gonna wake up at around 5:30 tomorrow morning to study for that exam. Rest in peace, my sleep. It's ironic that I'm telling my sleep to rest in peace. But honestly, I don't really even have to lose an hour of sleep. It's kind of by my choice, because I could go to bed an hour earlier to compensate for the hour that I'm waking up earlier, but The Walking Dead exists, And The Walking Dead, I don't know I don't know when the series started, what year it started, but it's been around for a while. But I've only recently gotten into the series, and oh man, I never thought that I never expected that I would like the series as much as I do. Like, holy cow, I love it so much. Hopefully no one will spoil anything in the comments for me. Or, I really only have like 2 people at most now who consistently watch and comment on my videos, which I do appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And I doubt that they'll spoil anything for me, so I should be fine. But anyways, I'm in season 2 of The Walking Dead, and I'm like 8 episodes in. So it's really, really, really good. I'm not going to say anything for those who haven't watched the show, besides that I recommend you do. I don't want to say I'm addicted. I'm not addicted, because I'm not watching it out of control. I'm watching it in moderation, I say as I lose an hour of sleep over it. Anyways, after putting the second soul in the second slot, light filled the Master Sword. Its blade glows with a golden light in the Twilight Realm. With it, you can cut through dark fog. Amazing! The power of the souls has been transferred to your sword. The guardian deities of my world are on our side too. You really are the chosen one, Link. A true hero. As long as you have that sword, you should be able to repel the shadows Zant has spread. And that doesn't seem like really that big of a deal right now, but with what we have coming up, that actually will be pretty important and pretty useful. So it's kind of cool. You can see like the waterfalls of dark fog rolling off the sides. Really neat. I really just like the look of this world. It's really cool. Another really cool thing about, which by the way, right over here, you have to use a spin attack to push back the dark fog enough to hop over and get up like the middle area. So you can see what I mean by like this is really, really linear. Anyways, another really good thing about our sword being filled with the power of soul in the Twilight Realm is that we can very, very, very quickly kill Twilight Beasts. Not just Twilight Beasts, but any Twilight creature. So any of these guys will die, for the most part, with one hit of our sword now, which is really, really cool. But just like you can cut grass while you're walking, like while you're running, so just swing your sword while you're running, and you can slash the fog out of the way. That's pretty cool. Right over here, we have 2 more balls of soul, which, by the way, I'm kind of wondering, could we just, I mean, like, well, actually, no, these aren't really balls of soul. These are a little bit different. They don't really, no, these are different. Okay, yeah, I was about to say, like, we could just take these back to the entrance instead, but we don't have any use for soul anymore, because, well, we do, but we don't have any use for taking balls of soul back to the beginning, because we've already done that. Regardless, these are not balls of soul. Anyways. Let me see, where are we in this video? We should be getting pretty close to the end. Yeah, we are getting really close to the end. But I highly recommend you guys check out The Walking Dead. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a great series. And I would recommend it to anyone who is interested in kind of, you know, sci-fi and like you know, post-apocalyptic things. Like, you know, it's really cool. And for me, I find psychology really interesting, and I love the psychology behind the show. Like, you know, like what is really happening to these people as the world like crumbles before their very eyes, how they handle it, and like the group dynamics that are presented as well. So it's really, really interesting for me. But besides the point, it's right over here. So this entire Let's Play, I've been trying to appear on a chest before like it like comes into form. I've been trying to stand on top of it. Well, here at episode, what is this, 66? Finally got it. I can now finish this Let's Play in peace. Satisfied. Okay, with that you got a small key. We are about 30 minutes, yeah, we're 30 minutes, exactly. We're 30 minutes into this video, and I'd kind of like to keep it around this range, especially because the next video will be of similar length. So we're going to end it off here. Next time Let's Play The Legends of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, we will finish the Palace of Twilight. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Goodbye, guys.